Alright, let's try this again. Battery died. Anyway, SHTF.mp4 here. I mostly just want to let everybody know that prepping is something we should all do. Not my personal, my own shit hit the fan. I ended up losing my job. You can see, man, all these trees that's been cut up. My dying yard. It wasn't used to like this. It used to be nice and green, nice and beautiful. And unfortunately, I was unemployed for 6 months. And unemployment doesn't cut it. So I had to do basically what a lot of people have to. I had to live off my preps. I had to go through and sell a lot of stuff that I didn't want to sell, that I don't know if I'll ever get back. Sold a few guns. Ended up selling one of my motorcycles. Just did what I had to do to get by. Just watching a video from, I think his name is J00. I'll put a link down there somewhere. Basically, he said he's been unemployed, no money's coming in. But he's going through and, prepping. I know this is not exactly what you want to see. This is my dead backyard, because, we didn't even want to basically spend the water to water it. Ended up cutting down a few trees. I don't know if you can see that tree in the background. Get a little bit closer to it. A stump right there was a tree that I ended up cutting down for firewood. That one's been butchered. You see, luckily, we don't need wood anymore. I don't know if you can see that, but basically that's what's left. Had to burn everything else up, and I burned a lot of pallets. I just basically, anybody that basically said they had scrap wood, man, I just came and got it. But anyway, back to the point. Hadn't been for my preps, me and my family would not have survived. We may not have been eating like kings and queens. But, everybody went to bed every night with a full stomach. One night might have been something as simple as, top ramen. But nobody went to bed hungry. Luckily, about 3 weeks ago I was able to get a job. Not for lack of looking. And granted, I'm going to say no money came in for the last 6 months. It was just, very little. But I was able to go out. I was able to get employed. One of those friends of a friend of a friend of a friend type thing. I'm probably making about 25 grand a year less if I was making before I let go. But what I'm getting at, people, had it been for my preps, I wouldn't have made it. There's just no way. There's just no way I'd have made it. But I was able to basically, during the time, put stuff away. I've had to sell stuff. Sold one of my ARs. Sold a couple clocks. Stuff I was able to accumulate when I had money. When I didn't have money, I was able to turn into cash. I would basically go, basically if I had a friend that came and say, hey man, I got all this scrap lumber, man, I just put it on the deck, you want it? Man, sometimes it'd be just junk, like this trailer right here. Had a buddy call me up about 2 months ago. Said, man, I'm just going to get rid of the trailer. I don't know what it's worth, but I got a bunch of scrap lumber on it. Come and tow it away and it's yours. Well, obviously, man, pulled my truck up, I brought it home. There's enough wood in there for a couple months if I need it ever again. So, like I said, I'm not sure if I already said this or not, but man, I was watching J00 that basically talked about, maybe it's 01, sorry, that basically talked about prepping and, what he was going through in his personal life. And that no money was coming in, but, he had enough preps to make it. Well, that's me. You prep, you do what you need to, and my shit hit the fan. It wasn't an economic collapse that might be coming in the future. It was nothing like that. As man, I lost my job. I had unemployment. It ran out. But unemployment was nothing. I was making big I don't want to say big money, but I was making decent money. I was taking care of my family. Then all of a sudden I lost my job. And then it's like, you know, someone calls up, hey, I'll give you $25 if you come over and do this, man, you're there. I mean, I remember I helped put in some fencing for, you know, a friend of a friend. Back-breaking work. And the day, the guy comes up and hands me $100. Tax-free. Well, you know, $100 is, man, that's nothing for a day's work. But when you have no money coming in, you take the $100 and you're grateful for it. I worked a lot of temporary jobs. You do what you have to get by. But, you know, it's not basically, you know, I'm not asking for handouts. I'm not asking for people to feel sorry for me. Because I've always tried to take care of myself. The point I'm making here is, you know, prep, put away. I don't care, man, if all you can do is go out and buy, you know, 5-pack the top ramen for you and your wife. That's gonna get you by a couple of days. Maybe you can figure out something in that couple of days, man. And that's what I'm all about. Put away. My food storage pretty much got gone. Very little was left after 6 months. But I basically during that 6 months on groceries, I bet you I didn't spend $200. You had to go there for like milk, you know, dairy products, and you know, stuff like that. But I had enough stuff put away, and I was able basically to survive this 6 months. So now what am I doing? Okay, I'm working again. I'll get my first paycheck tomorrow. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna basically buy a case of top ramen, or maybe, you know, 5 or 6 cans of chili or some beans or something, and I'm gonna start building up my preps again. Because if this ever happens again, I've got something to rely on. I mean, it's, you know, you don't feel like a man when you're not working. Even though you're out there trying every day to go through and do something, you just don't feel like a man. But you know what? You might not feel like a man, but if you're a man or woman enough, you know, I don't want to basically be sexist here. If you're woman enough, that when you are working and when you are making money, you're putting away for your family. You know, that's what it's about. It's something this simple, man. I was walking the street collecting cans. Basically trying to get a collection of pop cans, beer cans, aluminum cans, period, to basically take down and recycle. Now, unfortunately, man, the truck I drive gets 15 miles to the gallon. There's no place in walking distance for me to take them down. So I was just basically walking, collecting the cans. I figured when I got a bunch of them, then you take them down. Okay, right there. 8 or 9 bags in there. Right there, you know, bunch of cans. My snowblower that I almost sold. And right over here, man, I've got a couple pallets I picked up that I just haven't cut up yet. An old wood burning stove that was given to me, I haven't installed. You know, some railroad ties. That's what it's all about. You do what you have to do. Anyway, you know, I'm not basically, like I said, I don't want a handout. I had a few family members offer to help. And I said, if you want to help, come take my kids out to Niceville. Don't worry about me. Take my family out, you know, feed them something nice. You know, take them out for a steak dinner or, you know, something like that. That's what you do. I don't want a handout. Because that's not what I'm about. You know, I've been working ever since I was 12 years old. Granted, 12 years old, all I would do is mowing lawns and crap like that. But I've been basically providing for myself ever since I was 12 years old. I don't want a handout from anybody. I'm putting this video out there for anybody that might happen to watch it. For the plain and simple reason, you need to prep. You need to put stuff away. And all those people, man, I know I see a lot of the YouTube videos. You guys are about prepping guns and ammo. Well, I was that way for a long time too. I got smart. Don't worry so much about the guns and ammo. My opinion about the guns and ammo, you get a hunting rifle, get you a shotgun, and the basic gets you, you know, a personal defense gun, you know, 9mm, 38, 40 cal, whatever. And you're covered and everything. Anything extra, that's all it is. It's gravy. If I see a good price on a gun, when I'm able to afford it, I buy it. Because I basically paid $350 for an AR-15. When all this stuff started happening to me, I was able to sell it for $550. So, you know, basically I made money off it. It basically paid the rent, or the mortgage. I was able to basically put a little bit of money up here and there. Anyway, this might be getting too long. I'm going to cut it here. AR-15 out. You know, like you know, I hear a lot of people say, man, prep for today, or live for today, prep for tomorrow.